Hey folks, Paul from Easy Acres Homestead, and in this video I want to show you how to smoke perch. In addition to living off-grid, I source as much food as I can from wild sources, and I've always wondered if yellow perch would smoke well and if smoking might make them more shelf-stable. Perch are plentiful with a large circumpolar distribution and actively feed throughout the year. In fact, many of them are caught in the cold of winter right through the ice. They're also a lot of fun to catch any time of year and considered one of the best tasting freshwater fish. They reproduce quickly, making them an ethical, sustainable food source. In fact, in this particular lake, there's no limit on the number you can keep. My go-to setup is a lightweight or ultralight rod and a small spinning reel with very light line, no more than 4 pounds. I like a braid line with a monofilament leader, and again, very lightweight, the better to feel bites from these smaller fish. I generally use grubs, spinners, and other such lures that do a good job mimicking small fish, but they'll readily take bait like minnows or a worm floated under a bobber. This may sound like a lightweight setup, but I have no problems landing even the bigger fish. I don't mind catching a crappie or 3, and they'll make an excellent shore lunch for me while I wait for the smoker to heat up. You always want to keep an eye on the weather, especially up here in the mountains, and double so in a small non-motorized craft.
I don't know if you guys can see that behind me, but that weather's not looking great, so I'm going to head in for now and probably get these fish cleaned up and ready for the smoker and for frying. Oh yeah, good thing I got off the water when I did. Oh boy. I had to put the canoe up and everything, so yeah. I'm gonna go to my tent and watch cartoons now, I think. All right, so nice little haul for today. Got, a couple crappie and a handful of perch. And my plan is I'm gonna fry up the crappie and I am going to smoke the perch. Now, smoking is an ancient method of preserving meat. And the first step is after we clean and scale the fish is we're gonna have to put them into a brine. Now, a lot of people, what they'll do is they will fillet their perch and get nice, boneless fillets, but I'm going to keep the bones and the head on. I think that's going to, and the skin, I think that's going to give a lot of structure to the fish, so it's not going to fall, it's going to be less likely to fall apart in my smoker. I've never done this before with this particular fish, so we're going to see what happens. So the crappie that I caught this morning, I went ahead and filleted and fried, and oh my god, that made such a good lunch. So I'm going to go ahead and get these perch ready for the smoker. And all I'm doing is just gutting them. I'm going to keep them relatively whole. I normally cook these guys whole, head on, and I know not everybody likes their fish like that, but I really think that you get the most meat out of it when you do that. Even the best person at filleting will inevitably leave some meat behind. Okay. You want to wash all the blood that you can out of there. Okay. That's real good. So, got the guts cleaned out of it, and now I'm going to scale it. When I was a kid, scalers were these like pressed metal kind of things with some ridges on them, but over the past few years, this is the style scaler that I've been using, and these things are so much faster and so much easier than those old-fashioned scalers. Now, if you don't want to make a huge mess while you're scaling fish, here's a little secret, is put the fish underwater when you scale it. If you are out of the water and scaling it, I'm not sure if you can see all the scales flying everywhere, but you'll get them in your hair and all over you, so put them underwater, and that way the scales won't go anywhere. Now, when you're scaling, you want it to be real smooth, and you're not going to feel any scales, so when you're done, go ahead and feel along the body, and you'll feel the, like right there, there's some scales. Like I said, keep it under the water. So I've never done this method before, especially with this species, so what I'm doing is I'm butterflying my fish open. And the way that I'm doing that is after they're after they're scaled and gutted, I pick one side, I don't think it matters which one, and then I cut the ribs along the side that I chose, like this, right until I get to the anus. And the anus is like where the backbone is going to be, relatively in the midline of the fish. Forward of the anus, it's going to be up here on top. So once I'm back here, I just cut along that vertebrae on the same side that I broke those ribs. There we go. And then open her up. I think opening the fish this way is going to allow more of that brine to get on the meat, and it's going to give me a better product when it's smoked. So there we go. Now I have my perch butterflied, and it's time to apply some brine. Okay, so now they are scaled, gutted, and I gave them a quick rinse, and they're butterflied open. So I'm going to mix up the brine that I'm going to use, and for that, I am going to do equal parts canning salt or pickling salt and equal parts brown sugar. I have an idea to really make this last. I think I'm going to try it with trout or maybe kokanee, which are landlocked sockeye salmon that are pretty easy. Sockeye salmon. Landlocked sockeye salmon, which are pretty prevalent here in Oregon, this part of Oregon anyway. And I think if I smoke it, especially with brown sugar or maybe even honey, it'll be shelf stable. That would be fantastic. So I'm just eyeballing about equal parts. I forgot a bowl, so I'm using my little billy can that I make coffee in. Now I have read different times for brining, everywhere from an hour or two to overnight. So I don't think I'm going to do overnight for these guys. I think I'm going to do just a couple hours. So once you get it brined, especially with the sugar component, it's going to develop a scale or a skin to it. The meat's going to be somewhat tacky. I think the technical term is pericle, something like that. Pericle? Future Paul, correct me if I'm wrong on that. But you want to develop a nice sticky pericle, and that'll kind of lock the fish in and it'll prevent spoilage. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. And there goes my brine mix on. I believe this would technically be a dry brine because it's not like soaking in like a brine solution. I'm not making a brine solution, but the second that it comes into contact with the wet meat, it's going to kind of turn into a liquid. Okay, cool. So here in a bit, I'm going to flip them and then apply the brine again, flip them again and apply the brine, drain it off, and in the meantime, I'm going to work on getting the smoker going. For years, I've smoked game in it a couple times, but this will be my first time smoking this freshwater fish in there. And for that, I'm going to be using apple wood chips. All right, so I've got those in the pan. So this here will usually have some kind of water in it or some kind of fluid, and what that does, it'll steam and prevent everything from drying out. So instead of water this time, I'm going to add a little orange juice, just a splash, maybe another splash. And the wood chips, I'm going to put a little splash of orange juice in there too. Shake that up. All right. The hardy, hard-working fisherman gets a splash as well. Okay. I'm going to top this off with a bit of water. I think that'll be enough for now. These propane smokers are so convenient. Ooh. I'll put it on the middle. Okay, put it down low. And I'll check back on it in about half an hour and see how it looks, and check back every few minutes after that, and go from there. So 30-ish minute update. It's smoking real good, man. Just like me in high school. All right, let's check her out. Oh, yeah. Looking all right. Okay, you know what? From here on out, I don't think I'm going to open it. I'm just going to let it run and keep poking in on it and maybe check back in an hour. All right, so the smoker's been running for the better part of about 2 hours now, and I'm not seeing smoke come out of it anymore, so time to check on these perch. Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay, let's shut this off. Wow, would you look at that? Interesting, interesting. All right, there, wow, is our finished product. Oh, wow. Look at that, smoked perch. So I can just peel the ribs back real easy. Oops. Oh, wow. That's really good. Oh, man. The apple really helps. So there you go, folks, from lake to plate, smoked perch. Absolutely delicious. Highly recommend it. I'm going to try storing this in some jars to see if I can store it long term. If I could, that would be amazing, because I can catch these guys all day, I'm telling you. Anyway, folks, I am Paul from Easy Acres Homestead. If you stuck around with me this long, I really appreciate your support. I'd appreciate a like and subscribe. But until next time, you all take care, be well, and be easy.